Good afternoon, investors. We are Poly Build Group representing Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and today we are presenting to you our custom home proposal of 200 Edelweiss Circle, where we are looking to secure a line of credit of $610,000. My name is Leo Dixon, and I'm excited for you to meet the rest of our team.
I'm Russell Klein.
I'm Hannah Vo.
I'm Madison Lightfoot.
I'm Brendan Duran.
And I'm Cooper Strong. So we have selected 200 Edelweiss Circle, which is 2/3 of an acre in Tiffin, Iowa, which we have selected because of its great balance between being a small town community along with having access to urban amenities in both Iowa City and Cedar Rapids. So Tiffin has had an average growth rate of just over 6% year after year, totaling a growth rate of 65% over the past 10 years, bringing Tiffin's total population to be right around 5,000 people. So Tiffin's located right at the crosshairs of the Forever Green Exchange, which gives residents easy access to I-80 and I-380, taking them to both Cedar Rapids and Iowa City in just under half an hour. This is perfect for those residents who are looking to commute, as around 50% of Tiffin's employment rate base is made up of healthcare, manufacturing, and education sectors. We have found through this process that our target market is going to be a couple around the age of 32 to 37 years old, based on Tiffin's 34-year-old average age. We expect our future buyer to be a younger family who is looking to move up in the housing market, or a family expecting a lot of growth in the near future. Many of these residents will find themselves visiting Kent Park or Corville Lake during the summer months, which are great places to walk, bike, camp, or fish, along with visiting one of the many local breweries or restaurants in both Iowa City and Cedar Rapids. I'd like to pass it off to Brendan to talk about some comps.
Thanks, Cooper. We have identified a couple of properties of similar size that have recently sold within a 1-mile radius of our lot for comparable prices to our asking price. When we broke these down to selling price per square foot, we were pleased to find that our home was sold, our asking price is at a lower price than this one, and in conjunction with the large lot that we do boast, this gives us confidence in our ability to sell our home. Next to the construction of the lot itself, we've identified 3 different items that we want to hammer down every day to ensure success in our project. First being cleanliness and organization. A clean lot will create better work conditions and ensure greater efficiency in our work. Second, communication with our trades. We'll be doing this by developing pre-task plans as well as sending them our updated site logistics plan before they arrive to site. And then third, respect for all stakeholders, not just the homeowner. And we'll be doing this with periodic street washes to keep all sediment off the street, as well as starting work at the appropriate time of 7 a.m. Now, onto the site logistics plan. I'd like to note that this is not a static plan. This is dynamic and will change over the course of construction according to our needs. But I'd like to highlight a few items. 1, the bathroom and wash station for the comfort of our workers. 2nd, laydown area and dumpster for consolidation of trash and material. And then 3rd, our SWIPS plan with our silt fence, straw wattle, and gravel to keep all sediment on site. Next, I'd like to pass it off to Madison to talk about schedule.
Thanks, Brendan. So for this project, we calculated a total duration of 173 working days while keeping in mind holidays and potential weather delays. We built this schedule keeping in mind that the best time to build in Tiffin is after March, when the ground is thawed, so we can start site work and excavation right away. To talk a little bit about permitting, Tiffin takes about an average from 5 to 10 days to secure a building permit. Therefore, we felt that 9 was appropriate given the planning and accuracy that went into this home. So our permitting will be complete a month and a half before we break ground, kicking off pre-construction. We paid special attention to long lead items such as cabinets, lumber, appliances, doors, and windows. We want to do this to make sure that our crews have material on site right when they need it so that they can start on schedule. Our mobilization kicks off on April 3rd of 2023. Our home will be completely dried in by the time winter rolls around, making sure our interiors are protected. Our rough-in will be done on July 28th of 2023, roughly 4 months after the start of our project. Both our interiors and exteriors will be done by the beginning of November, and following that, final completion on November 29th of 2023. I'm going to pass it off to Leo to talk about the estimate.
Thank you, Madison. So we present to you a complete construction investment of $607,000. This estimate was developed through close collaboration with trusted trade partners and vendors to find a price that's competitive and appropriate given our location and the size of our build. I will take this time to acknowledge a typo in our proposal with our cost to build per square foot, as this value should be $164.70. This discrepancy, however, is isolated and does not affect any other financial data or cost outputs. Moving on to a cost breakdown of our estimate by trade package, a significant portion of our estimate lies in framing, which encompasses rough framing and insulation, as well as exteriors, which captures doors and windows, as well as the facade and roofing. We believe it's imperative to deliver the utmost quality standard to our client in order to instill confidence in a homeowner, and we intend to do so through comfort and safety with an efficient building envelope, as well as structural integrity. Now I'm going to hand it off to Hannah for a look into our state.
Thanks, Leo. With our sustainability approach, we geared it towards the climate of Iowa. Since it's a colder zone, we wanted to ensure heat exposure. Therefore, south and west-facing window are encouraged, while north-facing window is discouraged and not letting cold air. Another focus point we had was using the curvier nature of our site. We tilt the garage to frame the front and backyard, opening up the driveway, allowing more cars to be parked without compromising the front lawn. Onto our elevation. The front elevation shows the south-facing window, and the side elevation shows the massing orientation I mentioned previously. To the floor plan, the main floor has 2 bedrooms and 1 full bathroom. Entering in from the front porch, you're greeted into the living room that has double ceiling height before going into the open concept full kitchen. Opposite the kitchen is a flexible dining area, an enclosed office space, a sunroom, a laundry room, and a 3-car garage. Heading up to the second floor, you're greeted into the interior balcony space before going into the playroom. This floor has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths with a master ensuite and a walk-in closet. Heading down to the basement level, you're greeted into the family room that has egress window and another full bathroom. This floor has a flexible gym area as well. For more development and growth in the house, there's an unfinished storage space. This concludes the housing tour. I'm going to pass it on to Russ for finance overview.
Thanks, Hannah. So when looking at our performance metrics here, we have a total cost of $663,000 and a sales price of $759,000. That gives us a gross profit of $95,000, giving us a profit margin of 12.54%. Going into our acquisitions and construction costs, we have a lot acquisition of $99,900 and our soft costs, overhead, and hard costs totaling $507,000. Now going into our finance and closing costs, we talked to a few lenders in the area and found 7.5 to be a fair interest rate for this project. And then along with our interest expense of $21,000, we had an endorsement fee, escrow fee, appraisal fee, and loan fee. Going into our finance draw schedule, we started drawing money on for this project in February, and this ended in November. Throughout each month, we paid interest on each expense that we had drawn for, and this was paid off at the date of sale. Going into our sales and marketing costs, we used Redfin as our seller's agent, which gave us a 1.5% commission fee, and we used a buyer's agent commission fee of 2%, which was negotiated down due to current slow market trends and high interest rates. Going into our sensitivity analysis, I would like to highlight 4 different segments that we kept our eyes on throughout the project, starting off with the sale date adjustment. As we hold on to the project, if we need to hold on to the project for 1, 2, or 3 months after project completion, this will only affect our profit margin by 0.5 per month. And then going into an interest rate analysis, if our interest rate goes up or down by 1 or 2%, our profit margin only changes by 0.2% per half percentage of an interest rate change. Going into our price adjustment, if our sales price of this property goes up or down by $20,000, we can see that our profit margin goes up or down by 2%. So this is something we want to keep our eyes on, and we can help mitigate this risk through the strong comparable homes that we chose. Going into our material price change, if we increase or decrease our material price by 5 or 10%, our profit margin changes by about 5% per 5% increase or decrease. We want to help mitigate this construction risk by early material procurement and any other sort of pre-construction. That concludes it for our presentation. We hope to secure a line of credit for $610,000 at a 7.5% rate. Thank you for your time, and we now open this up to any questions.
Okay, I'll start first. Can everybody hear me? Okay, all right. So first of all, I just wanted to commend you on your presentation. I think the formatting is really nice and consistent all the way through, and you guys look really great, all put together and matching. So that's really nice. I did want to ask you a question that you didn't address very much in your presentation, but was addressed in your proposal, which is your decision to limit the amount of customization that a potential homeowner can make on this home. So what was the thought process behind that?
By customization, could you expand on that question, please?
So you had mentioned on in your proposal that you wanted to limit that you were going to put the house on the market later on, like after closing, and to be able to limit the amount of changes that the potential homeowner can make. And so I guess the question I have is, do you think that that potentially limits your market if you're looking at building a custom home in this price range?
Yeah, so no doubt limiting a customer definitely does not help in certain ways, but we found with our sensitivity analysis, keeping our material prices at like our estimate prices, we found that would help us out as a company more. Using Redfin as our seller's agent, that would help us that would help us attract a younger client base, and through that, allowing less change orders. We know that we would be able to do a cost plus if we did find a buyer early on, but limiting and listing 30 days before our final sales date, we found allowed us to keep on track with our business plan.
Okay.
I don't have much of a question here, just more compliment. Your proposal I thought was really good. It was laid out very nicely, read nicely, all the graphics, charts, all that. In your old presentation, obviously this is the first one we've heard, but very nice. It seemed like you were all confident in what you did. It seemed like you all knew the proposal. Sometimes we get into these where one person's maybe stronger in something than the other, but it seemed like you guys all knew what you were looking at and talking about. So nice work.
All right, I'm going to expand on that too. You had a lot of good information in there. I like the fact that you were all well prepared. You knew exactly what it was that you wanted to speak about, and I thought you did a great job on that. On top of that, your site organization, how you talked about keeping your site clean and organized, that's huge in my mind. I'm that type of person also, so good job on that. I like how you touched on the HBA, the NAHB safety within your information here, and also your OSHA regulations. Safety is paramount, obviously. We want every worker to go home in the same condition they showed up in that day. Now, I did have one question for you. Can somebody explain to me why we are installing baseboard at the end of our finish schedule? I think I know the answer, but I want to see what you have for that answer.
First off, thank you so much. This team, I love them to death. They do not yet believe in the importance of a clean job site. And throughout the preparation for this, we're trying to get under 10 minutes. And every time they're like, you don't need to tell them that it has to be that clean. And I'm like, but it does have to be that clean. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Over 800 injuries are reported every year to OSHA based on the basis of untidy floors and messy job sites. And a clean site also allows you to identify roadblocks, minimize waste and variation, and control your schedule. So yes.
We've read some of the same information, I think.
As for the baseboards, when we look at the finishes of a house and scheduling it, what I've always been told is rule of thumb, there's 1,000 different ways to skin a cat. And we just decided to go with this way of doing it because we didn't want to put any risk of damaging those baseboards and perhaps doing rework in the punch list. So that's the way that we decided to do it. You may also notice in the schedule the time that we install doors that also comes later. And that's sort of the same philosophy that we used in planning it like that.
That's a great answer. Like you said, there's a million different ways that we can schedule things. I did see the doors also. I just wanted to touch on one item, but great answer. Thank you.
So I first wanted to actually applaud you on something that you did outside of your presentation, which was coming up and introducing yourselves. That is going to be a key moment throughout your careers to quote unquote schmooze the judges. And if that's city council or if that's board of supervisors, it works. That being said, you did an excellent job on your presentation. My one comment was redfin is not something that's common in our market. Some of us, I don't even think knew who that or what that was. Also, being quote unquote friends, supposedly with realtors, 1.5 or 2%, even if they're supposedly friends, that's really low. That's realistically going to be 4 or 5%. So that would be my only comment.
All right. Great job. I did enjoy the passive design components of this. And I had a question from the material selection standpoint. You have windows listed at $200 a piece. I was wondering if you kind of speak to that as far as where you sourced that and what the specs were on those.
Yeah, so to address the windows, so our house has a lot of windows, but all different sizes. So to kind of keep our estimate consolidated and concise, we averaged out different prices for windows to get just that one unit cost on there. We have smaller windows that are going to cost less, and then a few larger windows that just averaged out come down to that average cost.
Okay. Yeah. Where did you actually find the information? Do you remember?
Research
Okay.
with like trying to find local vendors, Home Depot in specific areas, just trying to average that out.
Okay.
I have just a quick question. Who did the renders that are included? Those are really, really beautiful renders. What program did you use to do those?
I 3D modeled everything in Rhino and then rendered it in Enscape.
Okay, nice job.
Anybody have anything else?
Okay, I think we're good.
Finished.
Nice job, guys.